every season of anime has that show. You know the ones I'm talking about. The show that everyone in the community is buzzing about. That one show that people latch onto as the most groundbreaking anime of the season. Shows like Yuri on Ice, Re:Zero, Mob Psycho 100, and Erased come to mind. But even before that, were One Punch Man, Tokyo Ghoul, Attack on Titan, and even Sword Art Online. Each season, each year, has its most popular show, and among these hordes of viewers who get dragged in by the hype are those who find flaws in these shows. So naturally, when one person goes against popular opinion and gives the show a negative review, the masses respond appropriately by tearing that reviewer's head off. I understand why people could be upset by someone calling something that they enjoy a piece of trash, but if an analyst has genuine points to make against it, I see no point in arguing over the subject unless you, in turn, have genuine counterpoints against that. The same could be said in favor of a great show. I've seen analysis videos that praise aspects of a given show, yet people in the comments will come up with a hollow statement like, yeah, well, the show still sucks. The difference here is that if I tried to promote what I considered to be a good show, Hunter x Hunter, I would come up with a long list of points to flesh out what's good about it. If I would try to promote what I consider to be a bad show, like Erased, for example, that list would have very few points in its favor. Keep in mind that I enjoyed watching Erased while it was airing. I don't dislike the show even now that I've had time to reflect on its flaws. But what about the show stands out exactly? It has cool concepts like Satoru's adult mind conflicting with his child body, but it never really focuses on them. Instead, we get a friendship conquers all story that doesn't comment on anything else in great detail. We get elements of child abuse and isolation, but the show doesn't really do anything to comment on those topics. None of the cast gets any real development, Satoru's time-traveling power isn't explained, and Satoru doesn't get to fulfill his romance with an underage child. Wait, what? Again, I enjoyed Erased, even after everything went downhill towards the end. I know that the series is bad, yet that isn't going to shake my enjoyment of the show. Is it a show that I'll constantly go back to as a pinnacle of great anime? Of course not. But was I so devoted to the series during its run that I flocked to the dislike button on every negative review of it? No. Now I know what you're probably thinking. What if I were to watch an analytical video that tore apart the flaws of a show that I'm deeply invested in, Hunter x Hunter? Surely then I'd be furious. Surely then I'd leave a dislike and start ranting in the comments. First of all, comments like, "It's boring," or "I didn't like it," are not criticisms, those are opinions. Second, if you can actually point out genuine flaws in a show that hurt its overall narrative or presentation, then I have nothing to rant about. You probably won't change my thoughts on the show, though, because what makes a good show and what makes an enjoyable show are two entirely different things. Gurren Lagann is a show that, while I love the hell out of it, I struggled through on my first watch. For a few episodes, the only thing that kept me invested was my connection with the main character, Simon. I got back into the series once the gang got moving again, but if it wasn't for Simon, I would have given up at the time. Why? Because I wasn't enjoying it. Now that I've seen videos analyzing the inner workings of Gurren Lagann, my appreciation for the show has increased dramatically. Did my enjoyment of the show change? No. That won't happen until I rewatch it. What did change, however, was my opinion of the show's overall quality. Before, I might have falsely accused Gurren Lagann of being an average show based on my uninformed view of it. Now, I can look at Gurren Lagann and confidently state that it is, in fact, a good show. An analysis video cannot change your enjoyment of a show that you've already watched, nor is that what they're meant to do. The purpose of an analysis is to alter your appreciation for a show's quality, so if someone legitimately criticizes a show that you enjoyed, don't start a flame war about it. You like a bad show. Who cares? You can watch whatever the hell you want. Why do you need to justify your enjoyment to someone else? Just know that if someone can find more fundamental flaws in that show than strengths, it's probably a bad show. But guess what? Your tastes will change. Chances are, if you're a fan of a bad show, you might not be in a few years. I'm living proof of that. When I was first introduced to anime in early 2014, what do you think I watched first? Sword Art Online, Death Note, Attack on Titan, Naruto. I entered the community through the same popular channels that most people do, and I thoroughly enjoyed the shows that I watched. Hell, I was so invested in SAO that I actually cried at the end of the first arc, something that I find laughably humiliating now. But if I hadn't watched Sword Art Online, I wouldn't have found Hunter x Hunter, or Gurren Lagann, or any of the anime that I love now. Sword Art Online might be bad, but it was my gateway into anime, and that's probably the same for some of you. That's why, no matter how bad a show is, It's never irredeemable. Even if you liked only the premise of SAO, that could lead you to similar shows that you might enjoy more, like Log Horizon or Konosuba. The show itself might not leave a lasting impact, but what you find because of the show might. If a show can make you say, I want to see more stuff like that, then it's not a total failure. That's why it's okay to like bad anime.